Lawyer Edudzi, your fight on this one.
I think that listening to the two, I see a sense that maybe not properly briefed on the issue.
Okay.
So 2 weeks ago, the Electoral Commission called the political parties, myself as the Director Legal of the party, with my Deputy General Secretary, Barbara Sawa, my senior brother, Tanko Computer, Madi, were the ones that represented NDC.
Okay.
The MPP had Evans Nimakun and Honorable Ebenezer Nati, the former MP, on the way forward, on agreeing on a roadmap. And we gave an indication to them that the Electoral Commission is not putting the narrative out clearly. What is the issue? Ablekuma North has a certain number of polling stations. After the election, there were contention about 62 of the polling stations. 62. Of that 62, we brought what we call carbonated copies. Carbonated copy, 54. The MPP brought carbonated copy of 25. The EC agreed to accept ours. By accepting ours, it will leave 62 without carbonated copies. The MPP managed and brought 25 carbonated copies. So at the meeting, I said, look, under the circumstance, we were initially pushing for a rerun in the 62 police stations.
Where there are contentions?
Where there are contentions. Then Madame Jane Mensah said, okay, since they have accepted our 54 carbonated copies, in fairness, we should accept the MPP's 25 carbonated copies. I said, no. I mean, for the sake of fairness, why not? Now, it will be left with 37. The MPP presented scanned copies.
Of those 37?
Of those 37. Then we said, no, we can't accept scanned copies. Because per the CI governing the election, you are not supposed to use scanned copies. Then they said, oh, they are pulling, presiding officers have validated those scanned copies. We said, no. On live television, including TV3, the presiding officers came and some said, I didn't know who signed this. And so we said already it raises credibility about those scanned copies. So we can come to a compromise position that let's go and even do the rerun in the 37 polling stations.
Where there are contentions here.
Which is contentious. The EC and the MPP said, no, we should just do it in 3 polling stations. And those 3 polling stations are the typical bantamers in Ablekuma North. So we said, it would be against good conscience for the Electoral Commission to go and conduct the rerun or to collate. In fact, the AC even said they will only do collation of the 3. We said, no, let's go back to the 37. And our approach is simple, that we need an approach that factors the interests of the electorate. Because we political leaders cannot sit in that room and take a decision that would disenfranchise about 37 polling stations, where the validity of the result, because they are scanned copies, you cannot vouch for it. So our position to the Electoral Commission, which was our proposal, in fact, I gave that proposal, together with my Deputy General Secretary, Lawyer Barbara, and the Madi and Tanko Computer. When we raised the issue, we said this is our proposal in terms of way forward. Then the MPP, through my brother Evans Nimakun, gave a counter proposal. The EC said they will call us back so that we will see between the two what decision the commissioners have taken. The next time I saw Dr. Bosman in Parliament saying ABC. I said, like, where from this?
You didn't know that he was going to be answering some questions on the floor of Parliament?
No, because we had agreed at the EC. We brought a proposal, the MPP brought a counter proposal, and the expectation is that they will call the two parties to meet. And then they will now inform us that having studied the two proposals, this is what the commissioners think should be the way forward. That's our expectation. Only to see him on the floor of Parliament. So I was taken aback. I said, no, Doc, this is not what we agreed. That is your view. A view we strongly said no. It didn't make sense that you, the commissioners, together with the political party, can agree that it didn't matter what happened in 37 of the polling stations. We should limit the conversation to only 3. And in fact, I remember saying before the commissioners that, look, these 3 are the typical MPP strongholds in the constituency. And so agreeing that we should go and have it or collate the results in only these 3 is as good as saying that declare the NPP the winner. And so for fairness, limit the election to 37 polling stations out of over 200. Once we go through that, the electorates in that place have been part of the solution to the problem. This is what we propose to the Electoral Commission.
Right.
Only to see them, Dr. Bosmasari in Parliament. How do you resolve the issue of the scanned copies?
Yeah, I think that the 62,
So
the
that's-
rerun of the 62 will be better.
Exactly. There was even a compromise
I agree with
position
the
that
rerun of the
so
62.
we said, look, since you have the carbonated for 25, we'll concede because we brought carbonated for 54 for fairness. So as for 37, and the 37, guess what? It's made up of 13,000 voters. That alone can decide a significant number. So let's go and have the election in the 37 rerun. Why? We are not afraid. And I'm not sure the NPP is afraid that we should go and have a rerun in 37.
You think it's a matter of fear?
I think so. I mean, 13,000, anything.
No, but-
and
Anything
I mean,
can happen.
you
Well.
know, well, but that's why we want fairness. We are saying that for fairness sake, let's go and have the rerun. We'll go back and campaign in those 37 polling stations. Who knows? The good thing John Mahama has done
The
so
twinkle
far. In the
Edudzi's eyes.
decisions, you know.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for another impactful
So I think
morning.
this position by the Electoral Commission to limit the conversation to the 3 will not augur war with our democratic, whatever.
Edudzi, thank you so much.